Asians and the New World Order. Today is 26/6/2015. Long time ago, when I was reading, I think it was A Hidden Hand from Ralph Epperson, and first time came across the idea of the New World Order and the population. He was mentioning about 500 million people, survivals, which are going to be left after an onslaught, and them to be Asians because Asians never lived in democracy and they don't know what's freedom. So it's perfect for the New World Order. While Western people like me, who, according to Epperson, knew about democracy, gonna be wiped out. So okay, that notion stayed in my mind. And then what actually clicked clicked here, this information, is after 4-ish years I've been in the Asia. I'm just gonna spit it out. In 3 years in Thailand, I met 2 people who knew about the Second World War. Only 2. I met a Chinese, highly educated from Malaysia, who asked me, "What is Germany? Is Germany Europe or Europe Germany?" He simply could not understand the difference, or is it the same thing, simply called differently, like America and United States of America. Well, America is, let's say, North America, Canada, and States. Confusing, of course. So, same as people are very confused by the Great Britain and England. What's that? I know that you know that I know. So, and in Kampuchea, it was even worse. In Kampuchea, when I was debating with the students in front of management, National Management University, it happened that students in a number of occasions didn't know word management, or nobody was actually studying management. What they've been, now this is another topic, how is that actually going in the practice? I'm not going to waste a second about that. You just have to take a look at my first videos about the Thai school, and you will notice exactly why. Just the jungle, nothing else. Just give us the money and don't worry. We're going to drum your kid into the singing national songs and submission, but knowledge, excellence is going to be 0. But it's going to be very, very, very well programmed little dog who's going to be jumping on a songs and marching as system wants, because that's exactly what they do. They just march there. And then I noticed another thing. Not only that they have no knowledge, but of course ignorant people don't know what's the benefit of the knowledge. Like Second World War might give you the benefit of knowing about the concentration camps, and then you might connect this with the FEMA. Or in their case, well, just to tell you this, most of the Cambodians do not know about the Khmer Rouge and Pol Pot. Most of them do not know. And the reason is actually the same New World Order which wants them instead of us. It's they're incredibly easy to rule over. Incredibly easy. You don't even have to rule them. They simply are so incredibly ignorant. In this area, most of the people are illiterate. When I'm showing them, for example, where the pin is this one, and when I show this to a group of people, only 1 in 7 will know how to read it. So there is one spiritual thing, and I will have to make a break to address it because it's a little bit complex for me. I need time to find a way. Okay, there are 3 things I want to mention, which is, one is the God of the Heaven, which is Chinese first God and very, very respected in China and the rest of the Asia, Sino-Asia, actually more than Buddha. And then you have Buddha, which is just extension of that God. And then you have institution of a Lung Song, which means respectable father or don. So, how to connect these 3 things? In short, that God of heaven is, and every house here has a small shrine to that god of heaven inside, and they put a fake Chinese money in front of it, and booze and other things. This is the god who shines children, gold, money, houses, and people are burning models of houses to him and so on. He's represented as a tall guy with a long hair and a beard, which is kind of coming from the face parts, and dressed in white. This is the god of heaven. Buddha is the second god which came later on, and in their brains it works like this. You give Buddha and then you get hundreds of thousands of more. You know, you give $1 to Buddha, and in the course of lifetimes you're going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or if you give soap to Buddha, you're going to be clean next life, and so on. Buddha means monk. So I'm explaining you how it is with the people. And so it's very materialistically, relationship. What is holy? And then you have another institution which is that Luang Por. So now imagine this: that in the neighborhood where you live, you don't know who's the boss. Well, Asians always do. Okay, in a village, boss gonna have in Thailand biggest house, and he's gonna have Thai flag and the Sangha, Buddha Dhamma Sangha church flag, which is yellow with the wheel all the time. And here it's normally police chief. But in Thailand it doesn't have to be necessary police chief, but it's normally somebody from the army or, Illuminati guys, that's it. And here is the same. And this guy is virtual master of life and death. If Luang Por wants you dead, you're dead. If Luang Por wants you out, you're out. If Luang Por wants you to keep you, or your boss to keep you in the area on the job, you will stay. If he wants you out, you're out. Okay? This is simply how it is. And they all know who's the Luang Por. And if Luang Por is the one who sets up the culture, who sets up what's going to be, what's not going to be, which girl going to go to which brothel virtually, and so on and so on and so on. So they live in a feudal system. They don't live in a system. Actually, their feudal system is far more honest than our feudal system. At least they know who's the boss. They always do. And they have no illusions about it. And that boss or his cholops are the spies, are everywhere. So this is a very typical situation. And I'll explain you how it works. The typical situation is, let's say I found somewhere in the community a sold person, and sold person started to communicate with me on a level which is far more intelligent than average, because average is $5, give me $5. If you don't give them, chinga. That's about it. So not always, but. So, and then in that moment somebody will come. And when that person comes with this kind of look, like look at him, goes something Farang, this, what are you telling to Farang? Then he goes, and conversation is over. Yeah. And to give you example, I was talking to my landlord while this copper's family was standing close to us because they run the furniture sweatshop, and I showed him these statistics, weird statistics about the killers in the 20th century, starting with Mao Zedong, Stalin, Hitler, and then goes Leopold, and under Leopold is Pol Pot. So he looked at that and he felt afraid to go deeper into the topic, and he just moved away. He looked at it, and I said, look, your Pol Pot is, I don't know what was the place, but at the bottom of the list. And he looked at it, and he was afraid, and he moved on. He didn't even wait that, look, what is going on? So you have this in the culture, when you have people, afraid to know a little thing more, because in the area, there is somebody who's going to report that you know good. And in their culture, it's very simple. You're either good or no good. If you're not good, you're a big shit. A couple of decades ago, people been murdered or things like being Christian virtually. That means CIA. Understand me? So again, generation after generation, they've just been brought to the level of, exactly what New World Order wants. Religion is you give money to the lawyer, to the god or lawyer. Fake money, he gives you real money. You give Buddha, probably comes next life. Fake smile, zero knowledge, and if you need to work your ass off in the sweatshop, it's okay for you. You don't know any better. Culture. You know that, for example, these guys, they don't know about movies like Matrix and stuff like that. They don't. They watch Chinese action movies, which are incredibly, but far, far more stupid than Hollywood movies. Because in Chinese action movies, you have pretty much only fight and just some connecting scenes. And another part of the culture is karaoke songs with subs, so people can sing karaoke. And that's most of the thing they're watching. They just watch that and Chinese movies. They don't even watch television in villages. They because I don't know why, really, probably electricity, but they have these small portable DVD players. They watch them and they play on TVs. They play those songs. So that's the culture, Mostly literate, watching Chinese movies, but more than Chinese movies, they're just watching this karaoke all the time, just watching those videos, which are covering all aspects of their lives. All aspects are covered by these karaoke movies. Whole programming is coming from there. So, do you need more? Do you need anything better for the New World Order? No. Already prepared. And if UNPO tells them to line up for microchipping, you think they're gonna even in the brain hesitate? No fucking way. UNPO tells them they're just gonna get into the line and get microchipped. No questions asked, with a smile. Let's go. That's it. That's Asia, bro. That's Asia. So, no Second World War. It doesn't exist for them. For most of them, Khmer Rouge don't exist. And only money. Only money. That's what they can understand. Only money. And power. Power and money. And that's the spiritual climate here. That's how I see them. Fake smile, nothing else. Well, they are people like me, but guys, more I stay here, more I understand that, okay, for the end, I'm just gonna mention you again my favorite Buddhist rationalization of evil and injustice from the horse mouth, from the Buddha himself, when he said that rich people are rich because they, after being reborn in the heavenly realms, they get reborn in the rich families and even nobility, and poor people are poor because after finishing rebirth in the hell, they get reborn among those bamboo cutters who eat dog meat, drink fermented drinks, and no Dhamma. So I'm, of course, against that bullshit, but that discourse explains you the spiritual power of wealth, and especially in Thailand, where I learned most of the culture there, because I had far more social contacts than here. And this is this belief that money is equal to the spiritual goodness. This is what they deeply, deeply believe, and even it's evident, especially in Phnom Penh, where you see, just gonna say it quickly, where you see in the big businesses and middle businesses, you see pictures of a guy in a uniform shaking his head of the whoever is the president, Hun Sen. This is how they gained the business, by virtually walking into Phnom Penh in 1975 and killing with the hammer in the head previous owner. Okay, so this is how this spiritual goodness is coming. How it's been described in the program called Religion, which now concludes the whole circle.